Boom, hello and welcome to the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, Season 3. With your host, Byron Rogers. This podcast is dedicated to the executive protection practitioner, the private security professional. In this podcast, we're going to talk about the mental, emotional, psychological, physiological fitness that goes into being an efficient and effective executive protection agent. Whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're a mom that's looking at how to protect her children or a father that's focused on how to protect his family, I believe this podcast has something for all of you. We might even get into some tales from the crypts of true Hollywood stories from time to time. I'm doing this podcast because I feel the reality of this job is simple. If you really want to be good at executive protection, it's more than just a job. It really is a lifestyle. And those of you who've been in the game for any serious amount of time, you already know what I'm saying is true. So if that sounds interesting to you, enjoy the show. Out. Boom! What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast. We've got something awesome today. We're going to be rolling some things out. We're going to be expanding. We're going to be broadening our horizons as a brand and also as an industry. You know, that whole rising tide lifts all ships at sea. Together we can achieve more. You remember the arrows, when they're braided, they're strong. And so that's what we're doing here today. This episode is going to have something for everyone in it. And also casting some vision for things that we can see coming downrange within our industry. So listen up. And it's an honor for me to be able to do these things with some amazing gentlemen that have been doing some amazing work in another part of the world. So we're going international. I've got Constantine and Michael here from Sentinel Security up in Toronto, Canada. How y'all gentlemen doing today?
We're doing good. What's going on?
Yes, Byron. All good, man. All good. It seems like yesterday we just last spoke.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, it kind of is. We've been talking, right. But
yes.
Yeah, man. These are two gentlemen that, there's certain people that you meet in your life that when you meet them, there's just like there's a connection. It transcends words, and then you just kind of stay in flow with each other. They catch a fly ball for you. You catch a fly ball. You guys are passing things back and forth. And, I rarely find myself in a room with gentlemen that have the vision, dare I say even more vision than I have, sometimes, and the excellence to back it up, man. So it's always good when we get to connect, man. How y'all doing out there?
And everything is fantastic. It's fantastic. We like many other people around the world, have used the hurdles of COVID to try to navigate and, just get around a lot of the new world that we are, living in right now.
Right.
But I'll tell you, things are good, man. Things are good, and we're excited. I think this whole episode should be called Excited.
Yeah, man. No, I love it.
Like we're in grade 7.
Yeah.
Yes, we like to jump in. I want to ask you,
yes,
vision.
Sir.
It's a word that you don't hear often unless you go to the optician. Why is vision so important? We've heard you say it a couple of times. And
yes.
Maybe it's a way that you measure another man.
Yes.
So if we have vision like you, or possibly more, as you said, why does it matter? Why is vision so important?
A few answers to that question. I think if you're in, especially for someone like me, I'm just that guy that's been willing to go, not the biggest, not the baddest, not the best, but I am the man in the ring. Like, I'm willing to be like, okay, cool. I'll get out there, and by the grace of God, I get delivered into these things, and I fight my way through whatever's going on, and he delivers me, and we keep it going. There's no victory I have that has just been my own. It's all been by the grace of God and as a result of high quality relationships. And so, I find myself, when I decide to spend time or resources with someone, one of the most important things, two things, is vision and excellence, right? So wisdom, discipline, excellence, freedom, these are my values, and humility, these are my values. And so when I decide to be in a room with somebody, for an extended period of time, I got to see those values in them. Right. So you guys, excellence. You can look right now at the studio you guys are in. This is like production. This is like a TV show, we're upgrading
TV show. I never heard of it. TV show. Oh yeah. They used to have that back in the day. Remember?
Yeah.
When people had cable.
Yeah, that's true, man. This is it's beautiful. The background you guys have. For those of you guys listening, check this episode out on YouTube. You need to look at it. It looks good because I'm hanging with you guys. So, you never want to be the guy, in a room with, in my opinion, if I'm going to spend time with someone, the vision is important. Your perception will dictate your performance in life is something that I genuinely believe. Being the type of man who's not afraid to believe and go after a mission, come hell or high water, I'm generally the guy who has that vision and is the tip of the spear and is going out and getting after it and fighting the dragons on the way. So for me, without being able to see the moves, without being able to see where I want to go, I don't know which direction to fight. So vision is everything. Perspective dictates performance. And then you've got to have that confidence that comes from experience with yourself and your God going after that vision. So when I'm talking about vision, I'm talking about the direction we're going. And without that, people perish. If you don't have that, then you're dead in the water. And I could go on a rabbit hole. You guys know I love this stuff. But when me and you talk, what I think is so beautiful is you guys have the faith and the courage and the perception to have a vision that even elevates mine sometimes, which is really, really comforting and inspiring to me. And it says that I'm in the right room, So if you don't got a vision for your life, you better get one because that's where you're going.
Well, I'll tell you this. If we go back to 2018, I remember we were sitting down in the restaurant for the first time ever, looking at you, you're looking at us, and we're trying to figure each other out. And I remember, again, we're going to just remind the audience here, but at one point we asked you, Byron, order something to eat, so we can get into it. And you're like, I'm not sure if I want to eat right now, let's just have a drink and kind of relax. But it's not until after where we had such an incredible organic conversation where you kind of said, well, look, I just didn't know if this was going to be something that I was going to just walk away right away or just kind of invest my time to see where it's going to go. Yeah. And one of the things that I caught from you right from the thing is your mindset. And that's kind of like segueing into EPL, executive protection lifestyle. It's literally built on the mindset, right? And to me, we've seen all sorts of personalities. I mean, we can spend probably 15 hours talking about EP and what it is today and just how people perceive it. But you are what made EPL and that is what draw us to you and said this is great. This is great. And you're making an impact and you're creating an influence and you're kind of changing the game. And that is what I fell in love with.
And I want to jump on that before you say thank you to those wonderful words from Constantine. We've coined a phrase that maybe it started now. You are the Dr. Oz of protection. Okay. And you just have this incredible ability from such a genuine place to communicate authenticity about what the craft is, about what the art is doing, executive protection. You live it. So we know there's players and pretenders. It's so good to see and hear someone who actually is a player. And have you ever heard if you ever had a chance and the success and the blessing to go up, you have the responsibility to send the elevator down. And you're definitely about that. Like, I think that's what you live for. You live to share all of the richness of your experience. There's the other side. We've all met Mr. Security guy who hoards it. Who believes at his core that I have no value unless I decide to kind of dish it out to you. And it's going to come incremental and it's all proprietary and it's all kind of cloaked. What I love about anyone who really knows what they know, they want to make it known. Yeah. And I just want to kind of applaud you for what you're doing. I think that you're going to find yourself every year just pinching yourself thinking, man, I could never write this myself. I had no clue I'd be in this circle, advising these people, meeting these people who are adding to my own life and vice versa. It's I actually have to say, bro, it's amazing knowing you. We haven't really connected much in person, but it's 2021, and this is good enough.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree with everything you said more. It's amazing what happens when you go after a dream. And thank you so much for everything you said there. The authenticity, man, is so big for me. That's why this brand is Executive Protection Lifestyle. I'll say it. It's more than just a job. If you want to be good at this, it really does require a lifestyle. And I really set out to build this brand in the first place. Like, hey, you know what? This is what I've been doing since I'm 21. This is the only job I've ever had in my adult life other than fighting in a war in the United States Marine Corps Infantry. And then boom, I've just been doing this, I'm 35 now since I was 21. And it's like, well, what can I do? How can I contribute? Friends saying like, well, you're too young, or people that love me, that want the best for me, being like, you're too young. No one's going to listen to you, do it this way. Don't do that. No one's going to call you, man. The second you go, high vis, it's going to be a wrap on your career. And I'm like, and for me, it was just like, look, I just like what you said, everything was proprietary. Everyone was keeping their cards close to their chest. Everybody was so cool and try to make this thing look like it's more than it is, and I'm like, it's just not more than it is, guys. Let's unite the tribes. Let's create something that everyone in the industry can become better as a result of, and let's canonize a lot of the wisdom in this game. I only made it from age 21 because of the people that invested in me and helped me not step on landmines and tripwires and get maimed out there, with my own good ideas as I came back from, Marine Corps into this industry. Right. So that is what I'm all about. And I am all about showing the lifestyle. That's one of the things that gives me joy about creating content is there's no like, okay, now I'm going to shoot this. It's like, no, like bust out the camera. This is what we are doing. We're working multiple details a day, like just organic content at any time. And that's why I can create so much content because I'm just doing it. You know what I mean? And so that means a lot to be seen. Is very valuable. So thank you. And it kind of gets into the mission of what this was all about in the first place, which was contributing to a higher quality agent on the ground, and
that's right.
We created an amen for that. Yeah, we need an amen for that one.
Yeah, man. And we've created, by the grace of God, the largest free library of content in the industry for executive protection agents, and then that's an honor.
And it's grown tremendously over the last couple of years, Brian. The efforts that you've been pushing out, the fruit is coming out right now. Executive protection lifestyle. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing if something like this could happen in Canada? Like, that'd be pretty crazy, eh?
That'd be wild.
That was right. That was good. So off the cuff, man.
Oh man.
No, I love it though, man. And that's exactly what we're doing here, y'all. It is this is all about expansion. This is all about uniting the tribes. And so we are branching out as a brand, as EPL, to Canada with Sentinel Security being our representatives out there, so they're going to carry the flag in Canada. So I'm excited about this. And what that means essentially is that Executive Protection Lifestyle as a brand is going to start expanding to different markets across the water and really illuminating and fortifying relationships with companies and individuals who stand out in their industry, with people who carry that flag that aren't just about the business of executive protection, but are really about the commerce of relationships, the quality of the work, the 24-hour lifestyle of, the solid work. It's about the soul of protection, So in this, what we're doing right now is Sentinel is going to carry the flag for us out there in Canada. They're going to be as we begin to build this network, they're going to be the flag holders out there, and anything you guys need in Canada in terms of, we're going to you'll start seeing training operations. You'll start seeing a network, a pool of individuals and companies and things like that are going to be rolled out. Sentinel is going to be the guys that carry this brand equity out there. So that's what this is all about. What would you guys say to that?
I mean, I'll tell you this. one of the biggest things that a youth pastor told me when I was probably 11 or 12 years old, he says, show me your 5 closest friends and I'll tell you who you are. Now, we take that principle and we put it towards business. I can say, Brian, that I'm honored that we have been able to be an extension of EPL. Our whole thing is to represent, to take that and just basically showcase to the world what literally the mindset should be. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I think many, many people struggle with is what is the mindset, right? So to me, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. And there's just so many things that are going to basically, I guess, grow from the seed that's planted right now.
Right. 100%.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm going to chime in there. Byron, when we met you, I don't remember how many followers you had on IG at the time, but it was a lot less than you had now.
Yeah.
It was enough that we're like, okay, his content's good. I like his opinion. And I don't know what happened, but this just gives you a little litmus test on the value of your content.
There's that water cannon.
There's that gasoline jug.
Oh, hydrate or die, right?
Yeah, diesel all day. Okay, so in our own circle, which we have a pretty big circle because of business and all the associates that we have, it almost seemed like within a week, everyone we knew was following you.
Yes.
Like, that's the only way I can say it. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you're the new kid at school, and they're like, look, man, this guy's got it. He's got it. No, but I say, like, truthfully, speaking to your content, everyone we knew started following, started commenting on what you're putting up. We would have guys talk about, and it was funny because Constantine and I felt like, okay, because we flew to LA, we're in the Sunshine State with you, and we had this meal. Yeah. For us, it's like, we know you.
Yeah.
So whenever we would bring up, there's this guy, Byron Rogers, and everyone would constantly cut us off. Oh yeah, I know him. Next conversation. So, we were talking with Byron. There's this guy. Yeah, I know his stuff. Okay. So, as much as you're one of our friends, in this endeavor, everyone else does know you. Right. And I think to us, that's just a small example of the influence that you have. And it's just the purity of the voice and why it's needed. And we share the same heart and mind. Why does it matter EPL is in Canada? When you say that we're going to take the flag, we're going to add some maple syrup to it, make it really sticky. Okay, that's it. No, but for us, there is no voice here. There is no strong voice for someone to stepped up in our nation and said, this is how you do protection. This is the standard. This is how you apply these soft skills. This is when the hard skills matter. Like, because there's no conversation, no one really gets better. Probably we're not unique in that way, but it is an industry of lone rangers. Okay. And I call it for what it is. They're all scared. As much as they're protection guys, you look deep in their eyes, they're on their own. They're truly on their own. They're just trying to get that next paycheck. They're not to mess up with that client. And sometimes they go as petty as try to steal a client from someone else. Okay. Yeah. And I have to say that we're excited to be a part of the change, that we actually start inviting people into the arena, and it's like the best of the best start getting better. Okay. Yeah. And it becomes a think tank of ideas, giving birth to, in-person symposiums and trainings. And man, we're so excited for that to happen, that once this pandemic's done, we start to invite, we kind of predict there's going to be quite a few people who show up to the first EPL Canada conference that we put on here. I'm thinking we should do it for 3 weeks just to satisfy the appetite. What do you think?
Yeah.
We think.
I love it.
Can you cover it for 3 weeks?
Man, well, we'll figure it out. I love it, man. I'm absolutely looking forward to this. And I know this is just the beginning. We're just warming up. We're just unwinding. You said something I think that was amazing in there. You're talking about how they're all scared, man. And that was, people talk about motivation, and I talk about motivation, and I've studied it, but it's funny, man. Everyone acts so brave, but like, that's one of the most motivating things in the world for me, because of the way I use my fear. But what started this out, I think, was a lot of fear, like the fact that I was in the industry and I had to like figure things out for myself, because everyone was so scared. They were keeping their cards close to their chest. They were, stabbing each other in the back. There's all these things happening, and it is all birthed out of fear. It was all birthed out of insecurity, right? And then as I, am looking around, I'm like, man, like, I need to make a contribution, and there's even that little fire in me that's like, I don't want to die just some kind of cool dude that like didn't make any contribution. And it's a little bit of a fear that this grace, this life we've been given is going to be in vain. But like, I have found that through, uniting everyone and kind of disarming that insecurity with, hey, now at least this is how other professionals at the top of the game are doing it. Now at least that this is the lifestyle that goes behind this. People are getting an idea of this is what the game's all about, and it's killing a lot of that insecurity and a lot of that fear. I think you struck on something really powerful about when it comes to that fear and insecurity, that makes this content and what we're doing here really powerful, because it starts giving guys because I remember feeling that insecurity, like, okay, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but we got to get this done today. So this is the smartest way I guess we can do it. So let's get after it, But I think that's part of the power of what we're doing here is people talk about, adding continuity to our industry and standards and things like that. And I think that's exactly the direction we're taking with generating this content and kind of showing our best practices and what we do, man. So it's eradicating a lot of that fear. So that is
absolutely.
That's one of the things I think is an honor about this.
Listen, Byron, we tell this all the time. I've said this probably about 1,000 times in the last month. It's about revolutionizing the industry. Now, I see that as a whole, and I say that collectively speaking, representing our nation, Canada, about just raising the bar so high. Yeah. A lot of people are in this business that I think do not truly understand the business.
Right.
And I'm talking to business owners, and I'm also talking to people that are working in the industry. But our industry is broken because there was no standard set. And for us, we want to be the contribution to raise that bar and create that standard. And when I say revolutionize, I'm saying change. And that does not just happen overnight. It takes years and years and years of developing, you know what I mean? And being consistent over and over again.
Yeah, laying bricks.
Exactly. So we are super excited to basically represent EPL Canada. One of the things that I asked you, Byron, a couple of months ago was I wanted to kind of dive into your content, your training content. And what I loved about it, and I know Mike had a chance to go on it as well, is literally your soft skills, man, that you connect with. And that is so important. That actually can give people peace of mind at night, knowing that if I can conquer the soft skills, I can do so well with the others. So one of the biggest things that we're going to be pushing out is your content, Byron, your training content as a representation. If you want to look at doing work in this industry called close protection / executive protection, you need to have a mindset change. And if you do not have that, we will not look at you in that light. Because at the end of the day, I would rather go with someone that is open, humble, teachable spirit, than someone that says, I'm 25 years, this, and that, and they come in sizing you up. And it's just, you know what I mean?
I know all too well. It's actually a little bit of a struggle in my communication of the quality, the actual real quality of the executive protection lifestyle. I mean, of the training grade success package of the school and the training, because there's just something about people valuing like hands-on or valuing gun, shooting range and all the ninja stuff because it's fun. It's awesome. I love it. I love it. I'm an addict. But
I love it, man. If you've passed through the 80s.
Yeah, it's on. But at the same time, I think one of if not the highest quality deliverable of that training, there's two things, is the social dynamics, man. Because I was on my first detail, I saw 30 some guys bigger than me, stronger than me, more qualified than me. I mean, it was a revolving door, and I'm just sitting there driving, near dudes in the seat next to me talking to me about like, yeah, man, this is great. I'm thinking he's going to be there, gone. And I remember being like, and I would, chase the pager, and I worked all these different contracts, 6 different security companies, just taking contracts for years, and I remember being like, why am I able to excel? And guys that are like, special teams, ninja death stalkers, not excelling, guys that are better than me and more qualified than me, even smarter than me, not excelling. And I really started to realize, man, these social dynamics. So in the school, it's one of the things I really want to help people understand that they sometimes don't value. It's like, you're going to learn how to execute those social dynamics that will get you paid, help you have a successful career. And then another huge deliverable is you'll be able to influence the culture of your detail. This is one of the most powerful things you can do. You might come into a detail and at first it's dog eat dog and it's competition. But if you're able to be consistent, diligent, and lead by example with the right social dynamics, you can actually change that and help everyone understand that cooperation is actually superior to competition. It's not survival of the fittest, it's the elimination of the weakest. And therefore the pack needs to be strong. That's the one that gets picked off, is the one you guys leave behind. But if you guys are strong, you guys are safe, you guys make more money longer, and you don't have that anxiety of, is the next guy throwing me under the bus while I'm sleeping in my bed at night? And it just makes it a winning culture on your detail and in business and in the industry. We can go macro or micro with that, you know? So that's one of the hugest deliverables that guys get, two of them from that training that I want people to understand the value of, you know? And then two, one of the other things you guys said, and that's one of the main reasons, you know, if someone's thinking, why Sentinel, it's like, because I've known these guys for years and their excellence is there. So we're talking about contributing to the industry, and we're talking about raising the bar, and we're talking about getting the guy on the ground information that's going to make him more potent, more effective, have him not second guess himself. And my relationship with these individuals has taught me that they have that excellence. They have that training standard. Just their presentation, everything that I've done with them has been done in excellence. So
credit to mom, credit to all the moms out there, especially our moms, kept us on point. You know, sometimes licks helps you out in life. Okay.
Hey, right? Man, hey, I've learned far more. Yeah, I've learned far more from pain than I've ever learned from pleasure.
Exactly. It's our language.
No, listen, that's incredible, Brian. One of the things that I always like to also tie into everything that you just said is the difference between the short-term thinker and the long-term thinker. You know, and that is everything that we choose to do. Short-term goals, short-term payoffs, yeah, they may happen here and there, but they're not going to take you on the long journey. They're not. And I think a lot of people end up taking short-term, paths that end up burning them down the road. For us, we're all about, like I said, building this like lifestyle that you created and just jumping on it and just developing it more. And as you said, we love media. As an organization, we love to push it out and showcase that. Like what we're about to kind of embark on, ladies and gentlemen, is just the beginning. And I'm so excited for that. I'm going to use the word excited probably about another 50 times in this episode.
I love it. You know what I mean? No, and that's
he gets excited about the word excited.
Yes. No, I dig it, man. And that's the vision piece, you know? That's the plan. The guy with vision can play the long game. Someone asks me like, well, what if this doesn't work, this thing you're doing? I'm like, homie, this is one move in a succession of about 7 moves I've got planned over the next 3 years. So like, if it doesn't work, we will be more effective in the rest of the battles that we already have planned to win this war. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like you guys, man. You're playing the long game. You've got the vision. We're helping everyone else get that vision right now. And I'd have to agree with that. We both know this is just the beginning. You know, this is just the beginning. And I think one other thing I'm excited about with this is, you know, businesses, the commerce of relationships.
Yes.
You know, and EPL and all of these things, you know, everything that comes in and out of your lives will come through relationships, good and bad. And this expansion represents more high quality relationships now in Canada, and hopefully as we branch out all around the world, that are just going to make this industry better, you know, and we'll know who to go to no matter where we are as we travel, as we do things internationally, you know.
Right. No, that's great, man. Let me ask you a question, Brian, just in regards to just someone that's listening to this right now. What would you say, in your opinion, after someone has done training, someone wants this opportunity so badly, he wants to really dive in, what would you say is the number one thing you can say, this is what you need to be successful in executive protection?
So they've done the training and now they're about to go out into the game and they're like, okay, what do I really need to be successful? What's the one thing? If I was going to say one thing, I would 100% say that if there's one skill you need to work on, it's going to be your social dynamics. It's going to be your ability to procure and not manufacture, but organically create connection, gain social equity. And make no mistake, if you're going to create a relationship that's quality, it's got to be symbiotic. It's got to be reciprocal. So you've got to understand how to create high quality relationships, and you've got to be good to people and they're going to be good to you, and if you have the relationships that come from the right social dynamics, because this isn't as tactical as you think. This has to be genuine, actually. That's what makes it a very high quality skill. Like, you kind of have to elevate yourself to be able to do this correctly.
Right.
If you have the relationships, as you expand those relationships, your sphere of relationship we talk about in training day, you're going to get the time to grow into your position you need. You're going to have the opportunities you need to really mature and become a perfect fit for whoever it is you're working with and for. So, obviously, especially if you've gone to the school, you've learned tactics. Now it's time to start learning how to connect with people and give them what they want, and the world will react to you in direct proportion to your contribution. So as you give them what they want, then they'll give you what you want. And I only do business if it's a win-win. That's what I'd say.
I want to jump on that, just give a real example. I had the privilege of being at one of the finer hotels in the city, and we would receive a lot of VIPs, household names. Okay. When they came with their protection team, it went either way. Their protection provided and facilitated great relations, considered the house, considered the management, considered the staff, considered the local assets that they had brought on to help protect their principal. And then the other side were just straight dicks. They were dogmatic for things that didn't matter. They thought that literally like their world was the only world that mattered. And they tried to do security and protect through people versus with them. And it was a clear example to me, being on the inside of this house within a city, that the house didn't care about the person anymore. The trade-off in the mentality of the protection agent was no one cared about your principal. So it made your job even harder. Wow. Okay. And I learned really quick, hey, being good does good things for protection. And if that's like that, kind of just speaking directly to what you just said, that if you can foster great relationships, maybe great things can come from it.
Yeah. And I think the last thing that I'd say about that is really the realization that it's not about you, and you have to come from that cup has to be at least half empty, have your confidence, know what you bring to the table, but you need to come from a place of humility, especially like my man was asking me, you're coming into this industry. Hey man, ears open, mouth shut, know what you bring to the table, but soak up everything that you're learning. You've been in the industry for how long? Now you're going to a new detail. Guess what? You're day one again, man. You don't know how they roll on that detail. You don't know how they roll in this company. That glass has to be at least half empty, man. And so you want to definitely enter this thing in a state of humility, and that will actually create the opening for people to be disarmed enough to open up to you and start bringing you in, protect you, teach you, and all the things that you need to have happen in order for you to survive. Because if you know everything, you're gonna burn out, bro.
Listen, absolutely. But in our conversations, we talked about a lot of developments. Now, I'm not gonna release anything at all, but I want you to, kind of guide us a bit. You've been working on a lot of stuff. Some of them, obviously, we know, like Miami, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. That are popping down the road. But what would you say are some of the things that you'd want, audiences across the globe right now to see? These are things that are starting to kind of come into play. These are things that are starting to shift. I mean, there's a lot of them, but again, I'm not gonna come in and throw anything out.
You mean as far as changes in my brand or in the industry, or? Yeah,
I mean as a whole.
Okay.
Like, as it's things that you perceive them to be.
I think right now I think changes that I see are really positive overall, man. I think with all the pandemics and things like that going on, We represent an industry of protectors, which means we represent order out of chaos. We represent comfort. And so, one of my buddies was telling me about an article that he read a few months ago that says we're in the top 5 most expansive industries in the world, private security. Industry was supposed to double in the next 10 years before COVID. I remember reading an article about that. I think we're on track to really be validated a lot more and to really, really, really just continue expanding, especially in the face of so much, at least perceived and real chaos, So it's a beautiful time to be getting into our industry and to be in our industry. I think we're going to see some changes as we're more validated. I think we're going to see some, a little more regulation maybe, but with, even in LA, we're seeing private security companies really work hand in hand with law enforcement out there, in their own marked vehicles and things like that. So I think it's an amazing time to be in the industry. And that's another reason why I think the work that we're doing is so important. I think the travel game also is going to be, is changing a lot, so we have to continually up our game, with regards to the way we deal with, the whole COVID situation and any other types of illnesses that might be out there and things like that. There's more consciousness on that. And then the other huge thing that I'm very much building systems around and digging into that I think agents should really should have started digging into yesterday, is the whole open source intelligence aspect of the game, that the technological implications on your detail and how you can be vulnerable as a result of, understanding those things or not understanding those things. The game isn't just about being next to a person and stopping them from, being attacked. The game now, there's a lot of cyber, a lot of clients' worlds are very porous with regards to their cyber protection and their habits and things like that. And some of those habits, you can't really get them to stop, but there's still a lot of protection that I think needs to be done within that realm, which then, in the US market, we got faith-based stuff, we got pharmaceutical stuff. There's these different components of security that are opening up these different demographics. So I think anyone can get into the game, and it's the best time to get into the game. That's what I'd say.
Perfect. And one of the things for a lot of people that are looking to get in the game, or maybe want to elevate their game, maybe you want to go into Byron a little bit about the symposium that's happening in Miami, man. Like that's a big one. Let's just break that open right
now. Yeah, man. So this next symposium we have coming is it's a really, really solid lineup. And I'm really excited about it. Kind of the premise was, how can I create an event and give people of whatever background, from the civilian to the first responder to the professional protector, how can I give them an experience that's really going to actually upgrade their protection quotient, their PQ, how can I do that? And it was like, well, what really matters, if you guys watch my tactical protection reviews on Instagram and things like that, you'll see man, there's so much that happens left of bang, that if you have the software, the soft skills, and the right perspective, which will dictate your performance, you can avoid, you can attack, you can do so many things. So it's like, I've got to get soft skills out there to the people. And then it's like, well, we got to also honor the hard skills, because if you do make it to that flashpoint attack and you're on the other side of that, those actions, you've got to understand what to do. So the Protective Symposium was rolled out as an event where you can come and you can learn a whole bunch of soft skills and a whole bunch of hard skills from a handful of elite trainers. I'm talking about guys that are legends, okay, that you probably haven't heard of because they've been training teams. They've been having military contracts internationally. They're not on social media, some of them, because they're like the legit guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You can come to one place, you can learn from all these individuals, and then you actually will have gotten something from the event that you can take home and practice in order to get better, because it's about a lifestyle, right? So Miami, October 1st through the 3rd, we are going to be having another one of these symposiums, 72-hour immersive event. Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, the author of On Combat, On Killing, amazing seminal books, He's going to be teaching about the bulletproof mindset. And it's going to be Friday is all soft skills. So we're going to start with Lieutenant Colonel Grossman, and then we're going to go on up the lineup with the instructors that are going to do hard skills and soft skills. Next, you've got Jared Wahungi. He has been teaching integrated combatives internationally to militaries and law enforcement. All these guys have organizations. So we're going to get into integrated combatives. So where are you on your force continuum? What tools do you have leading up to drawing your weapon, drawing your firearm? And then obviously how do you manage space, weather the ambush? On that same topic, we've got Tony Seminot of Real World Tactical. This dude's so legit. He's got a Call of Duty character. Like he's one of my favorite guys. You know, half this is just I just want to train with these people, and then he's amazing. And then we've got Craig Douglas, Self-Narc, teaching us how to draw and fight with guns inside of a vehicle if you do get ambushed while you're inside of a vehicle. And then we've got Mike Pannone, living legend. You know, Marine Corps recon. Yes. Delta Force, you know, plank holder for the Air Marshals shooting program. First guy, amazing guy, amazing instructor, amazing man, actually a personal friend. He's going to be teaching us how to gunfight around vehicles because we know transitional spaces are where a lot of attacks happen, right? So without going into too many details, 72 hours, long days, amazing people, amazing training. I'll be there hosting it. Hope to shake your hand and train with all of you.
And we will 100% be there representing. Now, for anyone that's listening, how many tickets are going to be available, or how many openings are available for the Canadian market? Because we got a lot of provinces here that want to jump in.
Yeah, man. Hey, we can take unlimited. Okay. We can take. I mean, if you want to come to Friday, we can take unlimited. We can take a lot of people because Florida's open. But to get the hands-on training, that's going to be, I think we have that capped out at like 40 spots. So you're going to come in, you're going to be a small class. So it's going to be high touch, high quality training, not just get online with 20 some people and do this one thing. No, it's going to be like a very intimate environment, training environment. And you're going to wagon wheel through all 4 instructors for 2 days and spend half a day with each of them.
Okay, do you have a few seats left open in that 40?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We can make room for you guys as an honor. 100%. 100%.
Okay. Well, not beyond us, Myron, but for anyone else listening, when we start kind of pushing this, I want to come down. We're going to just start ensuring that we have a nice representation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I look forward to it. Yeah, no, you guys, I'm going to create a link for you guys. People that come through, you guys are actually going to get a discount. And
okay. There. You heard that, Mom. You heard that, Mom. My mom's going to get and work on her hard skills. She's retired now, so.
EPL Canada in the house. Heck yeah.
Yes.
No, that's awesome. Look, we can't wait. I think this is absolutely amazing. It's incredible. You can just continue building. And I guess the next symposium, when it eventually hits the T-Dot, Toronto, we'll be very, very excited to host you here.
That'll be an honor. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to all of it.
How many hours do you have now of instruction on your in terms of your modules? How many hours is it right now? 26, 30, 32?
For switching to training day now, or are we talking about? Are we okay?
For training day specifically.
Okay, so with regards to training day, I believe it's around 30 some hours, if I remember right from the last time I looked at it. But that is just course curriculum. You got to remember, I'm still making my way to 100 field notes that are back there from just me being out in the field and saying, hey, this is how we're doing business today. Yo, check it out. This is what we're doing. Field notes. And then every one of our live Q&As for the class and for the patrons is also recorded back there. So you have an endless library of
an arsenal.
Yeah, you have an endless library of content. And then you also have me coming in every 1 to 2 weeks and having Zoom meetings with anyone who's in that class. So you have conciliary for your career, and those are amazing to sit there with all the patrons of the course and just talk about and help them get through sticking points. Because I like to say I take a lot of responsibility for people that enter that course.
Okay, I want to just kind of put a plug. If trading day, if you're listening and if you've paused on it, you hesitated. You don't want to hesitate in our industry. Bad things happen. So Constantine had said, as well as myself, that we had a chance to go through the material, and it's 100% authentic. It's straight goods, Byron. You get, I'd say at the very least, it's like you're a friend to the listener. I appreciate that you didn't make it so formal, and you didn't kind of squeeze out the life because you're just trying to make it, something that had, indexed in the world of academia. You made it applicable to the everyday protection agent or the person who's thinking, I think I might have the intangibles. There's something about this. This is my nature. This is something that I'm interested in. Even if sometimes it could be sparked from just seeing someone else working or seeing a movie. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that the many hours of you take the time to take people through your experience, and you give them insight on what it could look like. Even just little tidbits like have a suit ready in your vehicle. Always be ready. That's like one little thing. It's these inside whispers and nudges that can make a difference for somebody. So I just wanted to say, if you haven't checked out Training Day, 100% is worth every penny. It's up to you if you'll be able to implement it in your own work. I mean, you don't guarantee any work if you take it, obviously.
Right.
But there's some amazing material and insight right from the field, as well as having access to some of Byron's community, as well as these symposiums.
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's awesome that someone else sees the value in that. So I appreciate it. Well, as such as yourself, you guys are up there killing it in Canada. So it's an honor. Thank you.
Awesome, Byron. Well, we're going to be pushing out a lot of content with these announcements very shortly. And there's going to be lots of it that's going to speak around Miami. Lots of it is going to speak around Training Day. It's just going to be a plethora of, Mike likes to say, of information.
A plethora.
Only good things are coming down the road right now. And again, the world has had a very rough year and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in LA, but for us, we're still in lockdown. And we're just waiting to jump out and just explore the world again,
Solid. No, 100%. And so for those of you who, have followed the brand, who find value in the brand, who find value in the content, who are out there, or if you're just new to the brand, Executive Protection Lifestyle Podcast, I like to say it is the biggest free library of content about executive protection. And we're turning it more into a brand. You're going to see more content. You're going to see more, obviously more podcast episodes with amazing people at the top of the game. And so what we're doing here is more of that. So there's going to be a lot more coming down range from Canada. So our guys up there are going to be putting stuff out, and they're just going to be amplifying the message, And if you believe that you like to join forces and maybe raise the flag in another place, reach out to me directly through my website. But anyways, I was just saying, be excited. We've got stuff coming. And now that we're joining forces with Constantine and Mike, there's going to be more good stuff coming. And as a rising tide lifts all ships at sea, we're just going to keep on amplifying this message of what it really takes to be a true protector. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor. Mike, Constantine, it's an honor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, thanks so much. Again, an honor once again to be on the show, Byron.
Yes,
and just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, and where can people find you?
Okay, so sentinelsecurityplus.com. That's PLUS, not the symbol plus. And we are going through a complete website relaunch, because we do have actually even more announcements just to make down the road with some new divisions that are coming to the table. That'll probably be all ready for the first week of July. So sentinelsecurityplus.com is where you can find us right now. And we're going to have the reflection of EPL Canada on this new website along to kind of guide the viewer to a wonderful journey. Yes.
I love it. It's just like butter, right? It's just
Yeah.
like butter. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Well,
awesome.
Again, thank you so much, man, for having us on the show. And big things.
Absolutely. Looking forward to all of it. All right, gentlemen.
Awesome. All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Yo, if you're a private security professional wanting to take your game to the next level, go to executiveprotectiontrainingday.com to check out my personal success package for private security professionals. Check it out, executiveprotectiontrainingday.com. And remember, y'all, hard skills do save lives, but soft skills get you paid. Boom. Boom. And to support this podcast, go to executiveprotectionlifestyle.com and contribute to our Patreon account. That Patreon account is what helps me make this podcast possible, contributing to this brand, what we're doing here, making it so that I can bring better guests on, making it so that we can plan more events and just expand the contribution to the private security industry, and also to making America a safer place. Do whatever you can, contribute whatever you can, because it makes all of these things possible. Thanks for those contributions. Yo, and before we go, I got to shout out to the sponsors, starting out with Primary Weapon Systems, PWS. They truly are the evolution of the rifle. Use Byron for 10% off. Grayman & Company, the most comfortable tactical suits in the game. Use Byron for 10% off with them. Until the next podcast, this is Byron Rogers, protector by nature and by trade. Out. Boom.